Hello everyone, my name is Surathon Tinga. I am an English teacher at Vietnam Can School. Today, I would like to share a classroom challenge that I think many teachers may have experienced. The challenge is simple. My students don't want to speak English. Even when they know the answer, many choose to remain silent. When I ask questions, my students often look down, avoid eye contact, or wait for someone else to answer. At first, I think the problem is their English ability. Maybe they don't know enough vocabulary, maybe they are not confident with grammar. But after spending more time with my students, I realize that the problem goes beyond language knowledge. Many students are afraid of making mistakes. Some worry about being judged by their classmates. Others simply do not feel confident enough to share their ideas in front of the class. As a result, they choose silence instead of communicating. This makes me ask myself a simple question. How can I help my students become more willing to communicate in English? As I look for answer, I learned about the concept of willingness to communicate, or the WTC, introduced by McIntyre and his colleagues. In simple terms, willingness to communicate refers to a student's readiness and willingness to use a language when they have the opportunity. Research shows that students who are more willing to communicate usually take part more in classroom activities, practice the language more often, and have more chances to improve their communication skill. This idea helps me realize that helping students learn English is not about teaching vocabulary or grammar, but it is about helping them feel confident enough to use the language. Then I learned about the work of Professor Robin Alexander and his concept of dialogic teaching. What catches my attention is simple idea. Learning happens through dialogue. Students don't learn only by listening to teachers. They learn by asking questions, sharing ideas, explain their thinking, and learning from one another. Dialogic teaching is using the power of talk to stimulate and extend students' thinking, and at once their learning and understanding. In a dialogue classroom, students are not passive learners. They become active participants in learning. According to Alexander, effective classroom dialogue is built on 5 important principles. The first principle is collective. Teacher and student work together to explore ideas and solve the problems. The second principle is reciprocal. Students listen to one another, exchange their ideas, and learn from different points of view. The third principle is supportive. Students feel safe enough to share their thoughts without fear of embarrassment or criticism. The fourth principle is cumulative. Ideas are connected and developed through discussion. And the last one, purposeful. Every conversation has a clear learning goal and helps move learning forward. The more I learn about this principle, the more I realize that they address exactly the challenges I face in my classroom. My students don't need more opportunities to listen to English. They need more opportunity to use English. They need a classroom where communication is encouraged. Mistakes are accepted, and every voice matters. So, I decided to bring the principle of dialogic teaching into my classroom. To put this idea into practice, I focus on 5 simple strategies. The first strategy is creating a safe learning environment. Before asking students to speak, I want them to feel safe enough to speak. The second strategy is start with a pair discussion. The third strategy is using small group discussion. Students work together to exchange ideas, solve problems, and complete communication tasks. The fourth strategy is changing the kinds of questions I ask. Instead of asking questions with only one correct answer, I ask answers that encourage thinking and discussion. For example, why do you think so? Do you agree with your friends? Can you explain your idea? Can anyone add to that answer? The fifth strategy is giving students time to think. In the past, When students remain silent, I often answer my own question too quickly. But I learned that silence doesn't always mean students have nothing to say. Sometimes they simply need time, so I wait a little longer. What I learned from this experience is very simple. Students do not become confident communicators because teacher talks more. Students become confident communicators when teachers create more opportunity for them to talk. Sometimes, as teachers, we feel uncomfortable when the classroom becomes quiet. We want to help, we want to explain, we want to provide answers. But often, that silence is where learning begins. Students need time to think. Students need space to express their ideas. Students need opportunities to build confidence through dialogue. Through this experience, I have learned that when students are given a chance to talk, listen, question, and learn together, remarkable things can happen. That is why I believe dialectic teaching is more than just a teaching approach. It is a way of creating a classroom where every student has a voice, every idea has value, and communication becomes a natural part of learning. And for me, that is what meaningful language learning should look like. Thank you for your listening. ขอบคุณและสวัสดีครับ